Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. It is Thursday. What are we at here? Thursday, May the 22nd, 2025. It's another Technical Alpha podcast. Glad you could join us today. Hope you're having a good one out there. We're late today. We were recording StarCraft. We started a little late as well, recording StarCraft in the last few weeks. I was out and about trying to get some grocery shopping done and getting M to work, and so we're starting a little later, but we're going to get a little podcast in where we're winging it today because I didn't even get a chance to really sit down and comb through much of the news or whatnot, but there are some things, of course, that we can have a chit chat about that are already known. And then just kind of shoot the shit. We got an open tech support this week, so any and all members are able to ask questions since we're going to be kind of probably low on the number of people who even realize it's available this week for sure because of the time that we're starting. So I just open it up to every one of our members this week, and we'll see how many questions can roll through. But before we get started, before we hop in, of course, the most important question of the week, Mr. Black, how was your week?
How was my week? It's been all right. It's just been another week. Nothing too crazy is going on. Things are starting to pick up now. I'm going to be closing on this building here soon. TM. And, yeah, outside of that.
Just been steady as she goes?
Yeah, steady. I've been streaming a decent amount. I'm still picking away at the house. So I did a couple more hours here this morning when I was waiting for you. So it was nice to get some of that shit done, especially since it was like the only day this week that there was actually like sun and semi-heat.
Fuck, it was brutal. Just overcast,
just depressing. Yeah,
cold,
rainy, just garbage.
Like
so
just
yeah,
bleak,
I went out, mowed the lawn. Then this Saturday, my mom's coming over tomorrow, but then I think on Saturday we're just taking out all the weeds and just kind of finalizing everything. So I'm like 70% done. So about another 30%, and then the house is exterior wise ready for spring. Doesn't look like a pile of ass anymore, which is nice. And outside of that, I don't really have nothing crazy has happened here in the last week. It's just been a grind. That's it.
The huge.
Yeah.
The huge. Yeah, no, it was another week here. We I didn't have any more holes to dig yet in the yard, so that was nice. I still have to get some fancier rocks to put on top to make it not look like just a bare strip of garden fabric in the backyard with a trench underneath it. But otherwise, haven't had to do too much more yard work. I got a lot of my stuff done last week. When the weather was nice, I just went outside and fucking full sent it 6-7 hours a day until it was basically not completely done, but a lot of like the really labor intensive stuff that I wouldn't want to do when it gets super hot.
Yeah.
I got done and out of the way, and like the stuff that's left now, the major things that are left now, it's not, it's not the end of the world if I have to do it when it's a little hotter, but as the weather has shown, apparently I don't need to worry about it being hot for quite some time. So, there's a couple other things I need to put in a bit of a little wall for another garden area that I put in and stuff like that. But otherwise, all that stuff was done for me. So for me, it was streaming, lots of Expedition 33. Fire! Everyone needs to play this game. It's so fucking good. The writing is incredible. The music is insane. Like the sheer variety of the music is nuts. It's unique sounding and just all of it's good. All the music is, and there's a lot. The volume of music is fucking incredible. It's fun to play. The combat's great. If the combat ends up being like a little too much for you, like you're having a hard time with either dodging or parrying and stuff like that, there's a story mode where it's, it takes a lot of the sting out of it, so you can just enjoy the characters, the story, the music, and everything else, and kind of treat it more like that, so that they've got you covered if you feel like you are having a hard time. Yeah, just great. So right now I'm at the point where I'm doing a lot of I'm getting into the end game, the third, and as I've been going, I've been unlocking kind of like older JRPGs. You get further into the game, and with the world map, you get more the ability to explore in different ways. So, like in the old Final Fantasies, it's like, like different chocobos to get you through water or over mountains and whatever, and you are accessing different parts of the map as time goes on. Kind of a similar thing here, where you're able to do different things as you progress through the game. And so I've been clearing more and more of the optional content, and just enjoying myself. It's just a really fucking incredible game. Game of the year, 100%. If it doesn't get game of the year, it's probably because people are too far up Hideo Kojima's ass over Death Stranding 2. And that's really the only game I can think of, I think I mentioned before, that has any hope of contending with this game as it is. I think, if I'm not mistaken, it is 95% on Steam after 60,000 reviews, which is pretty fucking high. And it is still tied right now with another game that's likely going to be in the Game of the Year list, and some people might even give it to this game because it's almost like a Balatro situation where it's an indie game. But Blueprints, you've probably seen some people streaming that a few weeks back. It was quite popular to stream when it first came up in the last month or so, maybe even 2. And it would be about 2 months now. And so it's looking like the 3-way race, if I had to guess, end of the year at the Game Awards and most publications. It will be Clair Obscur, Expedition 33, Death Stranding 2, and Blueprints. I think that's your 3 major Game of the Year contenders. There's some games yet to come out this year. Death Stranding comes out, I think, in the next few weeks. But there's not, when GTA 6 cleared out, there will be some other games come out towards the end of the year. But to my knowledge, as far as it's not that they can't, but the odds of many of these games being Game of the Year contenders are just small. They're not great odds. So I think those are probably your 3, and I'm enjoying it. You know what the best part about it is, though, is that, think of the last time that you were anticipating a game a great deal. The game came out and it delivered in every way you've ever thought of. That this is the first time that's happened for me
can't remember.
I don't even know what the last game would have been for that. So that's kind of been the real cool moment.
Maybe like Halo 2.
Yeah, it's got a long time, like a fucking long time.
StarCraft 2 or something.
Back. It was probably. I don't know if I have to go that far back, but I'd probably say Mass Effect 2 or
Mass Effect 2 is pretty far back.
Probably Mass Effect 2 and Skyrim. Skyrim delivered enough for me. It was a big hype, it was a big pump, and it was enough. But Mass Effect 2 is far enough back. Mass Effect 2 is 2007. It's been a long time since I've anticipated a game and it's delivered in such fashion. So I've been very, very pleased with that. And otherwise, that's pretty much it. I've really just been playing that and then just kind of doing some stuff around the house. And so that was as exciting as my week was. I'm trying to think if there was something else that I was meaning to. No, I think that's pretty much it. So anyway, that was mostly it for this for my week, and we've got some game news to talk about, but it's not a lot, and I don't even have a list, so we're diving directly into the Discord to pull and even then the Discord didn't have a lot. People were not spotting a lot of news this week, so we've only got a couple of things. And speaking of Hideo Kojima, Mr. Black, and I do remember hearing about this earlier in the week. So he announced, or was just I don't think he announced, he didn't go out and make an official announcement per se. But he was talking about it in some capacity. I can't remember if it was an interview or some other capacity. That he has left his staff at the company, Kojima Productions, a USB stick that is full of game ideas that he has. So that when, if anything happens to him, he's getting older. I don't know if he thinks he's suddenly going to up and croak. But if anything happens to him, he's like, I've got all these fire ideas, and they're on this USB drive. so that you can continue to confuse people with endless cutscenes for the next 50 years after I'm gone. But he's got a whole USB stick of game ideas. I'm trying to imagine, you know, Death Stranding as it has gone on, this second one, for one, it looks more and more like Metal Gear Solid 5. Like, every time I see gameplay for it, it's just looking like Metal Gear Solid. He's even making reference to Metal Gear Solid in the trailers and shit. Like, he seems to be very antagonistically kind of pointing at Konami and just being like, "Go fuck yourself. This is what you know. This is what you let. This is like the petty breakup." You know, and now like
what
one
you
of the
missed
two
out
people.
on.
This is what you missed out on.
Look at me now.
This.
Yeah, I had my glow up.
Yeah, my glow up time. And so that's kind of what he feels like he's doing right now, which I guess, you know, fucking sure, go get him, Kojima. But I'm trying to imagine what the fuck Kojima has cooked up, because Death Stranding is obviously a pretty unique video game, clearly, at least the first one. The second one seems like it's just incorporating more of his Metal Gear Solid-y background. I'm just wondering if this is a USB stick full of games that are just tangentially fucking Metal Gear Solid. Like, what else does Kojima have in the bag? It's not like Kojima at some point took a hard turn and was like, "I'm gonna make a platformer." Like he's done kind of. If you think about it, Death Stranding, even the first one, is very Metal Gear Solid. It is political, it is social, it is speaking about the human condition in very abstract, fucking esoteric ways, turning it into a video game, and then the game is there, but you're also watching like feature-length fucking films worth of cutscenes, none of which make any sense until you're at like the very end of the game, and even then, you're kind of like, I'm sort of following you here, but like, I don't really. What do you think, Mr. Black? Random guesses here. What do you think is on this USB stick? What else? Is it just all Metal Gear Solid shit?
I think it's probably horror.
Oh, you think he's got a? Well, we do know that he was maybe going to be fucking around with PT. That was like the game that got canceled. That was like a Silent Hill thing. So you think he's got one or two in the bag?
I think so.
Yeah.
I think it's probably horror. Which
he is a big Guillermo del Toro fan, so he's kind of got like that vibe.
Yeah. I mean, he's basically the M. Night Shyamalan of the video game world, except you know, not the whoa, let me finish now.
Okay.
But not the washed out M. Night Shyamalan.
Okay,
we're talking like, I wouldn't necessarily say peak.
Okay.
I'm not gonna go peak. But to be fair, I haven't played any of his games since Metal Gear Solid. Okay,
that's fair.
You know, I could be completely wrong, and he might actually just be peak right now. But based off sort of the things that I've seen, and you know, I know very minimal stuff. So again, my opinion is biased as fuck, and it might just be wrong. I don't know. He's coming off very pretentious in his the way he does shit, and that oftentimes comes at a price, and it's usually the natural creativity of the artist when they're trying too hard, when they're on their own brand. You know, we've seen it happen with M. Night Shyamalan. I've seen it happen with Christopher Nolan. You know, where Christopher Nolan, he goes a little too like Tenet, a little too much in his own fucking funk. You know what I mean? Like, is it a bad film? No, it's not a bad film, but it's too much. It's you think you're smarter than what you are, even though you're pretty smart. It's a little bit, but that's what I get from him now. And so, yeah, I still feel like he's making great games. Obviously, I mean, shit, the people buy them. He's still really loved in the gaming world, but he's coming off a little pretentious, a little on his own brand, a little too much. And you know, I think one of the ways that he can reel it back is I think horror. I think horror is a good way to do it because horror is such a genre that like you can have wacky ideas and kind of get the pass just because it's horror. Like you can fucking, as long as it hits those beats, you know, it's like scary. You know, it has its moments. You know, he's a good enough writer; he can make a good story. But even if that story is like your generic, like, oh, underground cult and fucking, you know, like this shit you see all the time, like he can pull that off because horror allows you to do it. So if I had to guess, I'm going horror.
I think I agree. At least a couple of them are horror related. I mean, Death Stranding has horror elements in it. It's not a horror game, but it clearly has some horror elements in it. And so I think that's just part of his DNA to some degree at this point too. And I think some of that does come from he's a big film buff, we all know this, and he is a big Guillermo del Toro fan. And even Guillermo del Toro's like most lighthearted films have an aspect of unnatural, uncomfortable, bordering on what some might call horror elements. And so I think he kind of has a bit of that. As far as how he presents himself, you know who he reminds me of in terms of like the movie industry, just he's obviously in a very different way visually, is Wes Anderson. He reminds me of Wes Anderson. His games are completely fucking different from everyone else's games. You see a game, you know Hideo Kojima made it. You don't even have to fucking blink.
Yeah.
You see it, you're like, that's got Kojima's handprint all over it. You see 3 seconds of that like Fujifilm turquoise, orange, yellow fucking palette, and you know it's Wes Anderson. It was probably shot in 4:3. And the difference too, or the other comparison, not difference, is that for whatever reason, he's got to have something going because everyone wants to work with Hideo Kojima, whether it's in movies. I mean, we're seeing movie people wanting to get in and work with him, other gaming talent. People are constantly at the studio. They're getting involved with him. And he just seems like he's an artist's artist. And he's definitely on his own supply. Like, he is on it. I don't think he's jumped the shark in an M. Night Shyamalan way, but he's come danger close.
I think where he's at, I think a better comparison would be a Quentin Tarantino. I think he's very Quentin-esque. He's all about dialogue. Like Quentin's high on his own supply, but he's still a genius. Like Quentin will make a 3-hour movie and 2 hours and 40 minutes of it is just character dialogue. Like the most boring scenes ever, but it's so intriguing and he knows what he's doing and only he can really do it. It's like if somebody else tries this shit because of the style and stuff, and he's very well respected. You know, everybody wants to work with Quentin Tarantino. And I think the reason why everybody wants he's the dialogue guy, and it's funny. All of these people we've mentioned are kind of similar, but just they're accomplishing it in a different way. Different ways.
So M. Night is M. Night is the plot twist guy. Like that's his thing. That's how he gets you, and he does it traditionally better than anyone else. Like he got so good at it that even if you're one of those people that sit down at a movie and you already can see all the beats, like 5-6 steps out, he was finding ways to still get those people. So he was always getting the rug pull. Quentin, dialogue, character guy, right? Like that's him. His movies are that, a lot of talking head shit, whatever. So that can turn some people off, but that's his thing. And then Wes is like he is a visual audio guy. And it's so unique. All of them are unique in their own way. And I think Kojima, as a film buff, kind of inherits a bit of all of that, right? You know what I mean? Yeah. I think he's like kind of, and in some way, you know what he struck me as? He strikes me as somebody who's he's a video game developer, but he's wanting to be accepted in the film world, or at the very least by the people who move in the film world, as somebody who's an artistic genius.
Well, exactly. I mean, he's playing it right because there's not a whole lot of them. He's obviously pandering to the movie scene. There's a reason why actors, respected actors and actresses want to work with him because like they want to be in video games, but they also don't want to be in
Your standard
fucking
one.
Call of Duty 77 or some dog shit fucking third person action adventure game that's just run of the mill, or another Assassin's Creed or some shit. They don't want to be in that stuff, right? They want to be in stuff that has artistry, that is deep storytelling, where they can go in and tell a story, and it's not necessarily about the gameplay. It's about the storytelling, and you're starting to see more and more of that now. I think we're starting to get. I mean, it's been like that for years. We're a lot of these games that are big, even Expedition, right? Like and that's like, it's a big game, but it's not like a fucking.
No, it was made by like 30 people.
Correct.
Yeah.
But it's succeeding because number one, its story's great, the visuals are great. They took the genre and like really did something special with it that like not even Final Fantasy's doing at this stage, right? Like, so yeah, I think he's making the right moves. I think he wants to position himself to go and make a film, like an actual film or a TV series, which is probably what you're going to see him do in the near future. Or at the very bare minimal, they will adapt. They'll take his work from video games and bring it to the silver screen, or
and he'll produce or something
streaming
like
service, and he'll be the executive producer, and he'll call the shots behind the scenes, and he'll use his influence that he has or within the space as a whole to bring on name talent to give it that that bump, because I think that's where he wants to go, and it's very clear. I mean it's
I agree. I agree. That's where he's probably going for sure.
Yeah.
And I'd be very interested to see what, as somebody who clearly watches a fuck ton of movies, because he does, and he's so influenced by it, and somebody whose games have almost resembled movies more than games, or series, it would be very interesting to see what happens if he is put in that position, like what the outcome is. Does he try to be inventive like he does with games, where he does something that is completely fucking different, or does he just end up producing something that is samey with other shit, but it just has his name on it? It would be kind of interesting to see what he does. But I do think that, like, in today's, depending on the genre you're working in, but certainly for his own games and more story and character driven stuff, I have to imagine there's a reasonable crossover, because you're storyboarding games, you're storyboarding shows or movies and stuff.
Do it.
I think it's a pretty easy crossover, right? It's just you're working with a condensed time, so like you can't just rely on the gameplay to prop you up. You now have to you're relying 100% on your delivery of it.
Well, you're also making
probably be pretty good.
Yeah, you're also making like a 2-hour film or an 8-hour series opposed to an 80-hour game, right?
Yeah.
I mean, we'll see, and maybe, who knows? He might get Game of the Year, probably not, but we'll see.
The first one got Game of the Year. That's what makes me wonder if this one, if he can follow it up.
Expedition
is so fucking good, dude.
I think what it's got going for it is Expedition has never won before. It's a small team. It's a new property or an IP. Everybody loves it. It's kind of like the Oscars, right? Where it's like you got to kind of give the nod. Kojima is going to win.
He'll win some awards with it.
He's gonna win some awards, and he'll get Game of the Year again in the future, right? But I think this year is like,
it's Expedition's year. I think it's
Expedition's year. Grand Theft Auto 6 gets moved. I mean, the Red Sea is parting. I mean, what more could you ask for? If GTA 6 releases, everybody's fucked, right? Like,
exactly.
It's an auto L, right? But they're not. So this is their chance. So
it's true.
I hope they win.
Yeah, no, I'm pulling for them for sure. Next up, Bungie's fucked. I mean, we already knew this, but they're super fucked at this point. I don't know if you've seen any of this on your timeline, if people have been chatting about it in your sphere.
I did. Yeah, with all the art.
Yep. So Marathon, which already looked really fucking bland. Like,
oh yeah.
From a gameplay perspective, just looked like a snooze fest. I tried to be interested in it, and I think I said after I watched that initial showing, I was like, I just need to see more, because that wasn't enough to get me even remotely interested in it. I could see what they were trying to do. I didn't think that it was perhaps a particularly intelligent idea, but I could see what they were trying to do. And what do I mean by that? Well, clearly they looked at the market, saw perhaps an avenue for the extraction shooter genre, where typically that is a very niche, very hardcore community in the realest sense, because extraction shooters are about everything is high stakes. You go in, you die, you lose your shit. I mean, like it is not something that the casual or even casual or the halfway to hardcore or even semi-hardcore like myself, I don't play it because even though I play a shitload of games and most people would consider me a pretty hardcore gamer, I still like the idea of progression. I'm not so big on every time I hop in, it's a new story being told because I talked to some 13-year-old in fucking Norway playing the game and I convinced him not to kill me on the extraction point while I'm trying to get it. Like, I don't give a fuck about that. If I go in and I lose like 15 hours worth of shit, it feels
salty
to me the same way as if I was playing another game and a save corrupted and I lost 15 hours of work. Like, that's what it feels like to me. It's not the same thing, but the feeling is the same, and so that's all that matters. And so I just don't touch them. And they're trying to reach in and grab me with Marathon, right? They're saying, they're looking at it saying, this is still extraction, but we're clearly trying to grab a more casual extraction shooter market here, and we're banking on that being a thing. That's already a pretty steep fucking gamble in the first place. That would be like trying to make, casual StarCraft 2. You're just not going to capture people with that at all. You're going to not get the original fans, and you're not going to likely get the people that you're hoping to get. So that was already a problem, but they got caught with their fucking pants down. They're stealing art. Again, actually, this isn't even the first time. But this time it's real bad. Like, this is so blatant, it's insane. In fact, it's so blatant, they didn't even take the signature off of some of this shit. The signature still made it into the fucking game. This is the art of Anti-Real, and who had been doing this specific and building and crafting this very specific art style for several years at this point, and had relatively unique style, obviously rooted in kind of like a very almost 90s futuristic meets cyberpunk. So if cyberpunk is very 80s idea of the future, this is like when I say neon soaked, I don't mean neon sign. I mean like the fucking ski jacket we wore in 94, like the fucking pink, the green, the yellow, like that kind of a neon soaked highlighter, neon highlighter soaked cyberpunky type situation. And it is a relatively unique style that is, if you were to look at their portfolio, pretty unique to themselves within reason, to the point where it would stand out to you surely if you saw it crop up somewhere else. And this is kind of what happened. It was discovered that at least one of Bungie's either current, although they're calling it past, so this person's no longer at the company, but they were when they were doing this, employees straight fucking jacked the shit off of the internet and plugged it directly into the game shamelessly. Not even altering it, not cutting some of it away, nothing. Just 100% blatant, you can overlap it from the fucking image and line it up type shit. And they got caught. And this is also while they're in a losing battle in a lawsuit with a creative writer who is suing them for I can't remember what part of the Destiny 2 story. But I think it was the Red War or something like that. Anyway, where they're claiming that there's too many similarities with characters, plot points, the whole 9 yards, and they were posting this shit on their WordPress website before Destiny 2 launched. If you read through it, it's not much to stand on because even when even what they wrote was pretty generic sci-fi. Like it wasn't like it was so dramatically standout that you could be like, oh, clearly they took this. The problem is Bungie sunset all of that content. And I don't know, you didn't play Destiny, but and I don't know if you remember, we talked about this. When they sunset content, even if you had paid for it and had it, the weapons, the whatever else, when they sunset it, it's gone. It's out of the game. And apparently, not only was it out of the game, it was off their fucking hard drives, it was off of their own servers, it was off of they deleted their own shit. And so in court, they have had to rely on trying to feed the judge YouTube videos that were done as like people that do lore YouTube video like work for games. They were sending lore videos that YouTubers did about Destiny as proof of the story, and the judge was like, you can't seriously be asking me to use YouTube lore videos as evidence for your claim. And so they're struggling to try to come up with something so they're losing that battle. And now they've gone and done this shit on a game that already looked like it was like going to be nosediving at launch. They're calling it an alpha, but it comes out apparently in like 5 months or some shit. But they're still calling this alpha, the classic play of don't judge us too harshly. It's just an alpha. Do you think, Mr. Black, that, I'm going to ask you 2 questions. Do you think that they should just outright throw Marathon out and save whatever money they can without developing this further and give it one last fucking shot at a game out of Bungie? Or do you think they commit to this and risk this? Because I feel like between how Destiny 2 ended, the lawsuit that they're in with that, how lukewarm, and lukewarm is generous, the reception for Marathon has been, and it's another live service game, I think this could be enough that Bungie will be sold off, split up, or closed down if this shits the bed like a Concord. Do you think they should just cancel it and try something else? Or do you think that they should redo the assets, of which there are many that they have to redo because there's a lot of this person's art in there and they have to hope they don't get sued later on? What do you think? Do you think they should go ahead or cancel it? And do you think that we're watching a possible beginning of the end of what used to be a storied developer?
I think they finish it. I think they redo the assets, and I think they release the game. Because if they don't want to go out like this.
You don't want to go. Like we're standing on business on the way out.
Yeah, it's like a UFC fighter, right? Say you're fucking Conor McGregor, okay? And you're running the show and everybody's fucking with you, and then all of a sudden you go and you make a whole bunch of money, and then you just start half-assing a whole bunch of shit, half-ass your training, stuff like that. Then you're too busy. You're too busy in your own stink. Okay. Then you go out in the octagon and you get starched. Okay. All right. Cool. You got starched. Okay. What do? Well, you get back on the horse if you're willing to give it 110%, and you go and you train hard. The problem is with Bungie is they're getting fucked right now. They're taking some L's. Okay. There's still a diehard fan base that kind of wants Bungie to come to do what Bungie does. Okay. So there's going to be some people that are rooting for Bungie, but now everybody was on Bungie's side, but now you've got a large chunk of people that actually want to see you fail. Okay. Cause now you've done stealing artist shit. You're deleting all this content. You're getting sued. Destiny's over. Halo's ass, even though like you don't fucking run Halo anymore, but like it's still Bungie, right? Like you think of Halo, you think Bungie. You don't think 434. I think Bungie. That's what I think, right? Even though it's not Bungie anymore. So you just get all this negative shit, but there's still a glimmer in there. You're still Conor McGregor, right? You still got that.
You've got that one knockout punch. You just need to hit it.
Yes, you just need to get it. Now the problem is, You can't really go out the way you're going out right now. Like Conor McGregor went out and he's just, he's out there fucking punching old dudes in bars and, getting prosecuted for, things I'm not going to say here on the internet. He's just a complete and utter piece of shit. You can't go out like that. So he's got to go back into the octagon at some point, right? He's got to go. Now the question is, are you going to go and just get absolutely fucking flatlined? And now, like, the people that want to see you go to get knocked out,
cheering.
And they're cheering for, like, they're like, yes, we told you. Or you can train, and in this case, you can go back, change all the assets, listen to all the horrible shit that people said about your garbage fucking, your garbage game that you come out like fucking 3 years, 4 years too late, okay? You listen to all of it, you make some changes, you go out there, and you show some fucking grit, and you try and land that left hook. Maybe there's just something, maybe you just, for whatever reason, the fucking gods align, and you just manage to just hit one out the park. You got a chance. Or you go out there and you get absolutely reamed. One way or another, you have to go out there and face it. Judgment Day. It's Judgment Day. What's going to happen? Listen, it ain't looking good. It's not looking good. But there's still a chance. Because if you go out right now, you're actually done. You're done. Yeah, what else do you have going for you right now, Bungie? You have nothing. You have
Literally.
nothing. Like, you have to go out on your fucking shield and pray that left hand connects with the audience. And if it does, you may be saved. If it doesn't, well, you get knocked out in front of everybody. And it is what it is. At least you went out there and you put it all on the line.
Man, I think I agree. I think you have to move forward with it. But I do think that it might do them some good to delay it. I think that they need to. The internet has a short enough memory, right?
It's getting delayed.
You got to delay it, and I think you need to strongly reevaluate who you're targeting with this game, and really think hard about that. We also found out apparently that somebody had pitched. From the upper end of Bungie had pitched another subscription model for Marathon in 2025. A subscription model when there are multiple games that are in the space that are not. What do you fucking stop? Get some help. I think they need to. And this is all depending on like the uppers at Bungie having fucking 3 IQ, or because my concern for Bungie is not necessarily the talent of the developers that are there. We know they're talented. Like Destiny 2 had some weird managerial choices, but the game is good. Like it looks good. Yeah. It runs pretty well. It sounds great. That's all there. They've got the talent. But it's the head that's fucking this shit up. The body's there, but the head it's received too many concussions, and now it's making some weird choices.
It's a butterface, man.
True. Everything's great.
That's what it is.
Butterface. So my concern is that some of the upper management at Bungie, especially those that came in from outside of Bungie or something at some point, that aren't really attached to the name, they don't really give a fuck. My concern is that they're going to look at this and just extract whatever they can, knowing that their decisions are tanking the company that remains behind, because they're going to get jobs somewhere else.
Yep.
Still in managerial positions somehow. If they once you hit that, you fail upwards. It's just the way that it fucking goes. It's bullshit. These people wouldn't be flipping burgers somewhere else if they failed with this kind of fucking hit rate. But once you hit C-level, you can do almost anything and get other C-level jobs. Like, it's just a weird fucking phenomenon. So my concern is that those people making the decisions at the top are just going to say, this is it. What can I get out of this on the way down? This plane's going down. What can I take off this plane before I golden parachute my ass out and I watch the plane careen into the fucking ocean with everyone else on board. That's what I think is probably going to happen. What I'm hoping they can somehow avoid. Because I know the talent is there. It's just the decision maker. It's the head. It's the decision maker that's fucking it up. And we'll have to see what happens here. But I agree. I would also put it out. But you're going to have to fucking sanitize your art assets for this shit. You can't have a blade of fucking grass that came up off of Pinterest. Nothing. It has got to be 100% in-house developed assets. You have to audit your entire art team because clearly this is not the first time this has happened. At some point, it's not necessarily that it falls on the lead art director, but you have to look at who are you hiring, how are you hiring them, and what kind of processes are in place to make sure this shit doesn't fucking happen again. You don't get 3 attempts at robbing artists out in the fucking open. You just don't get that shit. And then you have to, like you said, you just put everything behind it. You focus. You hit the best possible fucking left hook you've got. And maybe you're too old and slow. And maybe they slipped that shit. And now you're doing the fucking robot on the ground with your eyes closed. Maybe that's what happens. Maybe you land it.
Mm-hmm.
And now you're walking out gassed, barely able to move yourself, but alive.
Yep.
And that's kind of what we're going to have to wait and see what happens. But I agree. I think they got to do it, but I do think they have to delay it. I would delay this
next year
until the end of next year. Next fall.
Let everybody forget about all this nonsense.
This needs to go away.
And it will. I mean, it will to a degree, right? It's just people have short-term memory loss. So especially if they bring out a good product or they improve it, then they'll be all right. But yeah, it's not looking good.
It's a yikes. It is a very big yikes. One thing I forgot to mention last week on the podcast that happened, while I was away with them for our honeymoon. Well, it happened before, actually, just a couple days before. The Oblivion Remaster. We didn't get a chance to talk about it. That came out, and that was not done in-house by Bethesda. That was farmed out to a company that has kind of specialized in remastering older games, and they just enough people internally, and you could tell when I played it, enough people internally with their hands on this thing were clearly people that grew up on Oblivion. They knew this game inside and out. Like, they probably knew it better than the employees currently working at Bethesda that aren't Todd Howard and Emil at the head of the company. Like, there's probably more people that know that shit as fans that know it inside and out. And it showed because when you play it, they have done such a good job of bringing some quality of life improvements and clearly visuals because it's rebuilt from the ground up in Unreal Engine 5, which is like really its only problem because Unreal Engine 5 runs like fucking hot ass on everything. But it looks like Oblivion. It sounds like Oblivion. It plays like Oblivion, but better. And it wasn't a broken pile of shit. It didn't crash every 3 fucking seconds when I played it. Most people I know weren't having like these crazy, like endless issues. And it did 2 things for me. One, it made me realize that I think that the best Elder Scrolls game is going to come from whoever the fuck is not working at Bethesda. They've had it for so long, I think they've forgotten what the fuck Elder Scrolls is and what made it good. And I think the people that just love the Elder Scrolls and are in the industry are doing a better job than Bethesda will at their own thing at this point, is what this made me realize. And the second thing I realized was how far ahead Bethesda was back in 2006 when they released Oblivion. Because the gameplay there was some quality of life stuff in there, but it's not like they completely fucking overhauled the whole game in that sense to modernize the fuck out of it. You're essentially playing Oblivion. And I think that most people that never played Oblivion before, especially people who are younger, like in their early 20s or whatever else, that would kind of be the appeal for this. It's not going to feel like a game from 2006, which I think is a testament to how much Bethesda was cooking in 2006, and also how much they are desperately not cooking in 2025 when you look at their games and compare it to this release. But I don't know. I don't remember if you played much Oblivion back in the day or not.
I played a fuck ton of Oblivion.
Okay, I couldn't remember anymore.
Endless amounts of Oblivion on the Xbox.
Did it cross your mind to maybe give this a chance to see if it
I ain't got time, bro.
Nah, if you had time, would it be something that you might have given a shot just to take? Expedition's first up. That's a good choice. That's a good choice.
That's the one I'm going with.
That's a great shot.
Playing like a 20-year-old, or not 20, but getting
almost.
Close.
It'll be 20 next year. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. But yeah, playing a 20-year-old Bethesda remake is not something high on my to-do list.
It's good in the background.
For what it was.
You could just, I'm not saying you, but I think for most people, like Skyrim is now, even though it's old, you got nothing else going on. You just want to chill. You want to explore. You want to roam around in a place that kind of, even if you haven't played it before, is kind of nostalgic feeling.
Yeah.
That's the slot that this fits in. I don't think there's going to be a whole bunch of people doing like they did in 2006 where they just play 40 straight fucking hours of Oblivion. I don't think people got that in them.
No, it looks good. I mean, it looks good. I've seen some clips of it. I've watched a couple of streamers, fuck around with it. It looks good. It's not something I'm going to pick up, but hey, all the power to them.
Yeah, I think it's just very telling. And now, the next piece will be Sky Oblivion, which is almost done as well. We talked about this before. It's either out at the end of this year or into sometime next year is their timeline. That's a monstrous project. Coincidentally, legally, for them to release this, Bungie could take notes. They had to create new assets from top to bottom. They were not allowed to use a single asset from either game. They could use the creation engine and modding tools, but they were not allowed to reuse assets. And so top to bottom, hand done, everything and you have to think about how many assets are in a fucking like Elder Scrolls game. It is, compared to your average game, even today, an enormous number of assets. So I have a sneaking suspicion that release is going to be peak Oblivion and something that you would just never see. You just never see Bethesda do. And even this team that did very well with this remaster to kind of keep it the original, but then just bring it up to speed a bit. It takes passion, which is why Expedition 33 is good. You don't get like a decade of volunteer, high quality video game development volunteers on anything short of passion. No, you don't hear, like, there's one for Skywind, so bringing Morrowind into the Skyrim engine, and then Sky Oblivion. You don't hear about anyone for a couple reasons. One, nobody else is giving such access to the engine, or even if they did, to allow people to do it in the first place. Nobody else, and credit to Bethesda, are doing that. But also, it's those games have such fucking weight that people are willing as professionals to go out of their way in their spare time to do that over the course of a decade to make that happen. That level of passion for video game development is something that more people had 20 years ago because it wasn't so corporate, in the sense that it's not that there aren't people with passion now, but they're working in companies that are now having to just, everything's about monetization, to the point where the gameplay itself is being monetized.
Yeah.
And not just looking for ways to monetize a good game. So that's what happens. Expedition 33, one of the few unicorn situations where you have a bunch of juniors and 3 ironically, Ubisoft employees that came together, found somebody on SoundCloud that's a fucking god for music, found a writer that had never published anything before that fucking smashed a home run, and everyone did super well because they all cared about the game. And they didn't have anyone from above trying to be like, oh, here's how we can monetize this and do that, and if you change this about the game and you do that, whatever. Like, all that went away, and look at what the result was. A fire game that they didn't even have to sell for full price because they had a small, efficient, passionate team And now it's selling projected anywhere from 7 to 10 million units in its lifetime, having already passed 2 million sales as a JRPG that's super French in the year of our Lord 2025.
There it is. Yep. There it is.
But Concord, for $400 million, is still the shit that these suits are cranking out, and it makes me fucking ill to think about how many Expedition 33s we could be getting for $400 million of investment in games. Like, how fucking nutty is that? It's crazy. It's crazy. Or Star Citizen, who I think is now past $800 million. We don't have a schedule today or like a hard thing, so I'm just going to quickly.
We're going to a B.
I'm just going to check and see. Real quick. Where is the funding goals? Here we go. Here it is. It's my favorite. They've got graphs and shit. I love it. I love it. Where are we at? Where's the total? 8. Oh my God. It's gone up more. $823.7 million. This bitch is hitting a bill, bro.
Oh, yeah.
This bitch is hitting a bill before it releases.
You're damn right it is.
$1 billion before it releases.
It's racking in millions of dollars a day.
What?
Every day. I'm looking at the day here. So on the 21st, which is yesterday, 849,000. 20th, 1.2 million. 19th, 1.6 million. 18th, 1.2. 17th, 2.3. 2.4. 15th, 16th, 2.7. A day.
This bitch is going to $1 billion.
A week? I mean, a week, the last week, 9.6 million. Yeah, man. So, hey, Godspeed, man.
Stop the madness.
Godspeed.
Stop it. What?
Yeah, we're there. We're there. Hey.
This is the greatest fleece of all time, dude.
Oh,
even if this game comes out, I just want to be very fucking clear. Even if this game comes out, it's a fleece at this point. Oh, you can't take $1 billion from gamers and put any game out and tell me that it's okay. I'm sorry. There's no way. There's no way. No game is worth $1 billion in development. I'm sorry. There's just no chance.
Yeah. And then they'll make more when it releases. If it releases, I should say, not when. If. They're just clearly, dude, if you're making this much money every day, they're just dragging this shit out. It's very clear. But Godspeed. Hey, we'll check again next year. It'll be at 1 billion.
I can't even process that, bro. But they fucking billion. That's pretty much it for all we've got. There wasn't a lot that actually happened this week for news, and so we kind of lucked out in that regard. But that's okay because we're a little short on time regardless. So, Mr. Black, do a little sellout for me real quick.
Patreon.com/LagTV. Head on over there. Link in the description below. Throw some money at the screen if you want to financially support the podcast directly, or you can pick up NordVPN. Stay safe, stay anonymous on the internet. Pardon me, watch different regions of Netflix and other streaming services at the click of a button. So, for example, if you are watching Netflix in Canada and you want to watch the Netflix in US, you can mask your IP at the click of a button by just saying, hey, I am right now in New York. And then your device thinks you're in New York, and then you'll be able to watch the content that is on US Netflix. Plus, it keeps you safe and anonymous on the internet. So, if you're traveling, whether you're abroad or you're at your local Starbucks using their internet, the airport, wherever, your friend's house, Doesn't really matter. You can mask your IP at the click of a button, and you can use up to 10 simultaneous devices. You get 73% off plus 4 extra months when you use our link, and you also get Saley as well for a limited time as well. So let me I can double check to tell you exactly what you get. And Saley is an eSIM card, so you get 1 gigabyte of free eSIM data as well. So, and you get a 30-day money-back guarantee. So if you don't like the service for any reason, within 30 days, get your money back, no questions asked. So yeah, again, 74% off, not 73, 74% off, 4 extra months, 1 gigabyte of free eSIM through Saley as well. And you get to support us, the sponsor, and of course, yourself, all at the same time. Plus, NordVPN got a ton of all kinds of other services. They got password protectors. They've got threat protections. They got a long list of stuff to make sure that you are secure, not only at home, but anywhere, at any time. So go check them out. Link in the description below. Again, if you're listening to this on your RSS feed, it is nordvpn.com/OTT.
Well done. And now it's time for
movies and TV.
or whatever there is for
I got
this.
nothing.
I'm
I got
trying
nothing.
to think.
I've watched
I don't
nothing.
think I've got anything. I don't think I've caught anything here in the last week that I can think of. I don't. Yeah.
We started watching last night. We started the new reality TV show on Netflix called Sneaky Link.
Oh, that
it's
sounds.
Where
what's
it's
that?
where all these young people come together and they get surprised because their Sneaky Link, their side piece, or like the people they casually hook up with, is there. They show up, and they're going to find out if there's something real there or it's just a sneaky link. And or they can hook up with other people. And instead of them all being one big room and stuff, they're on this like resort where they all have different rooms. And then at night, you can call them on the phone and invite them to come over for a little sneaky link.
Bro, this is just the fun. We are reaching so
Bottom of the
far
barrel.
into the pit.
Oh, yeah. Bottom of the barrel, bro.
Oh,
bottom of the barrel.
God.
But you know what? When the gummies hit, I need some shitty reality TV shows to watch, and I'm here for it.
That fills
You know
the
what?
void.
You know what show I think you would like? It's not a fucking dating show or anything like that.
Okay.
Netflix, I forget what it's called here. I'm gonna find it real quick. Netflix. It's like maybe somebody in chat will know. It's basically like playing Clue. So it's kind of like
I know the I know the show. I think I've watched it already with him. It's for $1 million or whatever the fuck, right?
Yes, exactly.
And
$1 million.
The $1 million, like it moves around, $1 million mansion or some other fucking thing.
Yes.
Anyway, it's case. Yeah, I can't remember the name of the show. We watched that season.
$1 Million Secret.
That was it.
Yeah.
It was pretty good. It was okay.
I liked it. Yeah, I liked it.
I
thought it was cool.
pretty good.
Yeah, I thought it was cool
that guy is an actor. I've seen him in the guy who's the host of the show. I've seen him play a butler in like fucking 50 different things. But they they did a good job. It was it was a decent concept. It was reasonably well executed. The games were kind of shit.
The games were shit.
They're pretty bad.
But it's more so of the playing with people and stuff.
It's keeping it. It's trying to play people off one another. It's trying to keep it secret. It's do you hold on to the money? Do you give it away? Stuff like that. No, we both thought it was okay. It was pretty good. And there was like that one chick with the world's longest fucking neck. Just like the blonde girl. She was like 6 foot tall,
Giraffe
but it was
neck.
like half of that was just neck.
She looked like those things that you'd see in the National Geographic where they have all the rings around their fucking necks and it goes up for 2 stories. It's kind of like that.
Yeah. She definitely wasn't black though. She was 100% white.
Oh, yeah. White.
Very, very much so. Yeah, no, there's not, and I don't even know if there's much. I mean, we're gonna watch whenever Sinners comes to streaming, we'll watch Sinners,
Fire.
and then other than that, there's not like a lot that I've even heard M be like, oh, I'm looking forward to there's been like not much. We've just kind of been waiting for some stuff to cook, and there's not been a lot. Netflix is doing like this weird. What is it they're calling it? Like they're calling it the onomatopoeia of like the sound that you hear at the beginning of all their shows, the ta-dum, where it's like their own little show thing that they're putting on to try to get people to care more about their own content. So doing that, M's not going to watch it, but I'll watch it when it happens. Happy Gilmore 2. That's probably going to be a fucking dumpster fire, but maybe it's good. If they're, maybe we get lucky,
but we'll see.
I doubt it, but there's hope. Other than that, I don't even know what I'm looking forward to from like a movie perspective or anything. There's just not really much to look forward to right now. So it's kind of been a bit of a weak time for that. That's it. Yeah, there's not much to talk about. I guess that's it, which means it's time for us to go directly into
tech support.
Just as Mr. Black mentioned 14 seconds ago, patreon.com/LagTV. It's a place to go to financially support this podcast or StarCraft content. There's other avenues to support us through StarCraft content. That's one of them, where you can get a couple of things depending on your contributions each month. Chiefly, you can, this segment, it's called Tech Support, for $5 or more. Traditionally, today we've opened it up because we started late and we just wanted to get some people in. It's $5 more a month. Get you access to that. Put up a post before the podcast each week when we do it, and you get to ask us questions in that post, and we give you the answers in the time that we have. Let's see what we got this week. Right off the bat, we've got clearly somebody who's Canadian, who is also going straight into the Marry Fuck Kill. This is a very popular one for this segment in the last couple of months, thanks to Miyagi setting that off. Marry Fuck Kill, the Prairies edition. We're about to make some Prairie Canadians upsetty spaghetti here, Mr. Black. Alberta, Saskatchewan, Manitoba. It's a Marry Fuck Kill situation. At first you thought it was easy, and then you had to pause.
Well, I'm just trying to figure out who I'm killing. I'm gonna marry Alberta.
It's got the most outdoors activities to do of the three. That's kind of the thing about Alberta,
and it's got the most like infrastructure and economy, and
It's what happens when you sit on all sorts of oil for decades on end.
And then what's the other ones? I'm killing
Manitoba and Saskatchewan.
Gone. Yeah. Manitoba's got to. I mean, shout outs to everybody from Manitoba, but. You gotta go, and I guess I'm fucking Saskatchewan.
Yeah. I mean, my list is the same, but it's just like Alberta's got all sorts of amazing outdoor places to go and do things. It's set up for that, even in city centers like Calgary and whatnot. It's very like bike friendly, walk friendly. Yeah. Comparatively speaking to other cities, because it's a younger city. The country went from east to west, so it's a younger country. Yeah. We learned along the way. The infrastructure changed, and on top of learning, they also had lots of money because they're sitting on oil, and so it makes a big difference. But you got the Kananaskis Mountains and the Badlands and a lot of great golfing and whatnot. I mean, it is definitely, of the three, there's the most to do there. The sports teams are there. Everything is kind of there. Manitoba has to go just because it's like there's nothing. There's murder, and that's about it.
I can't. No, I mean Manitoba. I'm sorry, bro. If I was born in Manitoba, I'd be out of there ASAP. It just doesn't. The weather, I actually
so
just can't.
Cold in Manitoba. It's nuts.
Yeah, it's already like I just couldn't. I just couldn't, man. I'd be gone. I couldn't.
It's tough.
Bless yous.
I mean, child, we love all of our Canadians, your Canadian
Yes.
friends out there, but it's I don't think anyone's disagreeing that lives in Manitoba. I think Manitoba is one of those places where if you live there, you're going, yeah, we deserve that. Yeah. That's just the way it is, unfortunately. Let's see. Roran says, I'm wanting to help break the stigma. I just had a therapy session, so the stigma around therapy, clearly, especially men's therapy, more than anything. Just had a therapy session, and it was fantastic. Would you guys be willing to share your thoughts on therapy in general?
I mean, yeah, sure. I haven't been in therapy since before COVID, but I went to therapy for years, every week. And for quite some time, it was 2 days a week. And then when I felt like I wasn't really getting, it became more of a check-in. Became
Yep.
like, you know, and then like the odd week, something would sort of creep up that I'd be able to kind of get into. But yeah, I think I was in therapy from just after the first year of Lag TV, all the way up until before COVID. Now, there were periods in there where I stopped going for, I think the longest I went was like maybe 9 months to a year. But yeah, I was going faithfully for once or twice a year. I think it's good. Yeah, I had what, two different therapists over the years. I really saw one person for a very long time, and then they kind of got out of not the business as a whole, but they switched their
Focus.
sort of thing, their focus.
Mm-hmm.
So I ended up trying out another. I had this guy I didn't like, or we just weren't. It's not that I didn't like him. It's just it just wasn't clicking. And then I ended up finding somebody else, and then I was with them for a while. But I haven't been to a proper therapy in probably 4-ish years. I think whenever before COVID was like 2021, early 2021, 2020.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe like 4 or 5, going on 5 years, maybe. Yeah, I mean, I would still go if I felt like I was in a situation where I needed to speak to somebody about something, but you know, life's pretty okay, and I can always talk to my wife, and I have friends and family and stuff like that. And it was weird too, because in a roundabout way, that when I had that stint there, what a year, 2 years ago, where I was going to church every Sunday.
Mm-hmm.
I was kind of using that as therapy almost.
Yep.
It was like a thing where it wasn't, you know, I'm not like a, you know, big believer in God and stuff like that. But I could appreciate the connectiveness to it, and the community, and being able to kind of, you know, it was almost therapeutic. It was therapeutic. So yeah, I think that's great. I think dudes should go and talk more. It doesn't, I mean, the only downside to therapy is it can be expensive. So, you know, I would burn through like my
your
Blue
copay
Cross
or whatever,
like my the stuff. So like it is expensive. But you can't really, I mean, you can, but you can't really put a price on, you know, having mental clarity and getting burdens off your chest. And there are things out there where you can speak to somebody for free. There are hotlines, things like that. But to like go consistently once or twice a week, it was another bill essentially.
Yeah.
But it was worth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. I went to therapy, but only when I was really young, like when I was like going preteen into my early teenage years, because I had an anxiety problem during those times, and it was bad enough that it was affecting my my eating habits and stuff like that. Not in terms of like I didn't have like an eating disorder or something like that, but in the sense that I was so anxious I wasn't eating. Like I didn't have an appetite or anything like that. And I got very thin when I was in my early teen years. and which they were concerned with, obviously, because you're going through puberty at that time, and you don't want to be under eating and shit when you're going through puberty, and especially when you're like me and you're growing like a fucking goddamn weed. You need a lot to, going on, and they're a little concerned about that, and just the mental aspect of it as well, and because the anxiety kept, seemingly just getting worse, and it started in one pocket, like the anxiety was centered around certain things, but then as time was going on, that it was the circle of influence of like what that anxiety was tied to kept getting bigger and bigger, and so they were like, "Oh, we gotta get on top of this," and so they did. So they took me in, and we saw a couple of therapists, a psychiatrist, psychologists, and whatnot as well, and it's wonderful. Therapy's great. It is a incredibly useful tool for a number of reasons, but like the chief reason really is it allows you at bare minimum. So even if you don't think you're real fucked up or some shit or whatever, you just go, you find somebody, and like Jeff alluded to too, some of it too is you don't want to get discouraged right away. If you go to a therapist and you don't gel with them, don't keep committing to that therapist. Sometimes you do have to go to 2 or 3 or 4 to find the one that you gel with, and then you go with that. If you can do that, that's ideal, because the last thing you want is your therapist to be, even if it's not their fault per se, you just feel like it is a more antagonistic environment, or you're just not vibing right, then the therapy won't be as effective as if you just shop around a bit until you find somebody. You're not looking for a yes man or woman either. It's not like you want to go there and find a therapist where like, oh, I vibe with them, because you go there and you tell them issues and they never say that you have any problems or it's not your fault with anything. They just go there and coddle you. You don't necessarily need that. You just want to find somebody that you can be open with and honest with and feel like there's no negative shit coming back at you, and that's the important thing. Once you've done that, and you find somebody, therapy is wonderful, and it gives you a really important piece that some people need more than others when it comes to trying to make decisions for yourself or within your relationships or just in general with your life, where if you were to bring, and many people would bring these same questions and thoughts and feelings to friends or family members, they're too close to you to give you a non-biased opinion because they've known you for a long time. And even if they try to be biased, or unbiased, it's very difficult for them to navigate those waters. Whereas a therapist is able to give you the closest thing to a true, completely separated third-party view, where they're not seeing everything else. They're just getting the information from you, and they're giving it to you in a much more clear-headed way than you are, and it can put perspective on things in ways that sometimes speaking with friends and family doesn't always provide. And if it's something that's really eating you up, therapy's perfect for that shit. And it is expensive. I wish it wasn't. I think that most developed countries are slowly, painfully, but slowly moving towards trying to incorporate mental health care more deeply in subsidized healthcare aspects, like here in Canada and other places that have subsidized healthcare, because it is expensive, and it is something that can stop a lot of knock-on effects that are probably more expensive to the country with its citizens than just providing the mental health services to begin with. There is a calculable value to that that some countries are now seeing that clearly would make things better. So I think we're moving towards that. But 100%, there shouldn't be a stigma about it. If you're going to therapy, that's great. Talk about it. If people are asking about it, you don't need to hide it. Anyone that's going to chirp you about therapy at this point probably needs therapy themselves.
They're just fucking idiots.
They probably
like,
need
who's,
therapy
you
themselves.
go to therapy, bro? How fucking weak is that, man?
Yeah.
Man, fuck you. Then fuck you then.
If they do that, there are people you don't need to be spending your time with anyway. So that's like an easy. You're filtering shit for free at that point.
Yeah,
But yeah, it's
exactly.
great. You should absolutely do it. I've done it at a point in my life. Mr. Black has done it like extensively at a different point in his life. I know lots of people that do it with some frequency. Sometimes it's just when shit gets,
Yeah.
for
I
some
have
people it just needs to be when it's real bad.
hundreds of hours
Yeah,
sitting in a chair,
it's
talking to strangers. It is what it is.
it's good. It's good.
It
So
is
good
good.
on you for
Yeah.
doing it for yourself, Roy. Zonix asks, what's a really small thing in your life that brings you joy? My penis.
It's a good one.
Not. Honestly, there is one that's kind of like maybe a little odd. I would say when I go to like fast food restaurants or drive-throughs or whatever, and I'm just grabbing like a coffee or whatever else, and I'm really cordial. I'm really kind of like social and kind of lax with my order. I treat them like a fucking person on the other end, and normally I get that reflected back immediately because a lot of people treat them like ass. And that little interaction through the fucking speaker and then at the window, I just feel like it just gets my day going. If I get a coffee at fucking Timmy's, or if I'm spending, remortgaging the house on a Starbucks, and I go through the fucking drive-through and they, they're there in the small and they're asking me how my day's going because I was like joking and having a good time with them at the fucking order thing, and they're just able to relax and not be like, fuck, if I spell their name wrong, I'm gonna get shot. Like that little tiny interaction, that's like that gets me going for the rest of the day. It's a good start. It's a good start to my day. So that's one little thing that kind of makes me happy.
I mean, easy one for me. I like it when I come home and my son jumps up and he says, "Daddy," and he comes over.
Small? Is that small?
I don't know.
That seems like a fucking. That is your child coming.
Yes, but it's I don't know. It just never gets old. Like it never gets. I can quite literally, like, I'm pretty good. There's one thing I'm pretty good at. Like, I'm a pretty, like, how do I say this? I mean, probably my mom and my wife would say, I'm a pretty, like, I don't want to say grumpy because it's not the right thing. But I'm
you're kind of
like
nonplussed. You're like,
yes, I'm like,
except for when you're streaming. But when outside of streaming, you're just like, your face is like the resting bitch face and nothing moves you.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Like, that's just, it's like I put so much, I'm on so much that when I'm like not on, I'm off. And then also I'm just in my own head all the time. Like I'm just constantly just battling myself, like my own thoughts all the time. So like it comes off like I'm there, but I'm not there. I'm just kind of like I'm there. But one thing I'm good about is, like, whenever my son's around, it's like just like being on the internet. It's like I can snap out of whatever I'm doing and I can just enjoy that. Like the whole vibe. And there are times where I'm just like, I come home and I'm like stressed, or I just like don't feel like getting on the grind, I just like, and first world problems, like I get it. I'm very fortunate. I have the best job, but like sometimes you just don't want to be on, it's just, but I can be in like just dreading the day, and I come home and he gets up and he just runs over, gives me a hug, it's like, it just all goes away. And it's almost like, it's like a secret superpower, bro. It's like he injects you, and I think it's just what kids do to us as fathers or providers. It's this, like, it ain't about me. Get out of it. It's for this guy, or it's for your wife. Get over it. You'll get through it. You've been doing this shit forever. Yeah, you might have a rough day, but somebody's got to go do it. It's your job. He looks up to you like a superhero. Get there and get it done. And it's small, but bro, it's big. It's like, it's really big.
That's
So
true.
yeah, I mean that's just the first thing that comes to my mind. You're gonna experience that soon enough, and I'm telling you, there ain't no better feeling. There's just not. There isn't a better feeling. Money
I
can't buy
don't
it.
doubt it.
Fucking, you just can't. It's just it is what it is.
I don't doubt it. Sour Apples asks, do you still remember your top 10 game list from the first podcast, and has that list changed? Oh my god, I guarantee you if I gave you 10, it's probably different.
Yeah, I can't. I'm sure if I gave you 10, probably 7 or so of them would be the same.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I don't remember all. I would have said Final Fantasy 7. I would have said Mario Kart 64. I would have said Mario 64. Probably Donkey Kong 64.
I can't remember if we were doing
StarCraft,
our
obviously,
own,
you know,
like personal, or if we were trying to be objective about it. I can't remember because I would have 2 lists if I'm trying to like. Pick
I think
the top
we did
10.
do 2. I think we might have done 2 different lists, but I don't remember. It's one of these things where I'd have to go back and look.
I'd probably like yeah, and I don't even know. I mean, if it, you know, because if it's my own personal list, then yeah, I mean, what do I get? Can I even name 10? I'm honest to God, like in no particular order. So Morrowind, Persona 4, Ocarina of Time, Shadow of the Colossus, Mass Effect 2, I
would have said I probably would have said Zombies Ate My Neighbors. Maybe even Link to the Past. You would have said Ocarina of Time. Halo
Mario
2,
64,
I would have put on there.
I might have put
Super Smash Bros. Melee or Super Smash Bros.
on there.
I definitely would have. I'm such an N64 head. Like the older I get, the more I realize that I actually believe that Nintendo 64 is like my console.
Yeah.
I just think it's my console. I love the N64.
I might have put Lost Odyssey on that list. Holy shit.
I would have put Resident Evil on there. Like Resident Evil 2.
I might have put like Doom 2 on there or some shit. Like I might have even slipped a Doom in there. But I mean it's yeah, man, that's tough. I mean, it really depends if I'm like trying to come up with, again, if it's my own personal or if it's like me trying to be objective.
I need to piss so bad, bro.
Go for it.
I've been holding it. I gotta go. I gotta piss.
I'll see if I can even like remember. Does anyone have what our top 10 was? Probably not. But I mean, man, if I sat down and tried to come up with it, that's tough. Because I'm definitely leaving stuff out. But I think that's, you know, getting there. You know, we got Mario 64, we had Ocarina of Time, we had Morrowind and Persona 4. Yeah, damn. Mass Effect 2. Knights of the Old Republic might have been on there as well. I could have put Link to the Past on there, possibly having 2 Zeldas on there. But if I was trying to choose one, I'd probably go Ocarina of Time. Oh, geez. If it's my personal list, there's a possibility. Well, I mean, Halo or Halo 2, one of the two would have been probably on there. Journey would be on there. Shadow of the Colossus. Man, I'd have to like pare that down. Jet Set Radio, yeah, would be on my personal one, perhaps. I think that at this point, it's probably outside of my top 10, but it's low numbers. Welcome back. Yeah, yeah. It's tough. But it definitely would. It's probably not. It probably wouldn't be the same list, bro. Just off of memory. As far as like as the list changed, I'm trying to think of like if I've added anything that I've played. Because so much of your top 10 is almost always built around the time you're between 10 and 13 or 15 years of age. Like that 5-year period is like your formative video game years. And I'm trying to think of like how much has come out. Lost Odyssey is even in that pocket, although that's towards the end of high school for me. So that's so was Persona 4. That was literally my first year of university. It was 2008. So if I was to try to go further than 2008, where I might put it in my top 10 all time, like personally, I don't know. There's been lots of really amazing games that have come out, but I just don't know how many of them would work their way into my own personal top 10. Because for me, while we've had a lot of really great games, gaming got kind of fucked after 2015. 2015 was like the inflection point where everything started getting real weird with the microtransactions and the monetization stuff creeping into everything, multiplayer having to be shoehorned and everything. And so that was, so a lot of my top 10 come previous to 2015, but I don't think there's any recently. Would I put Clair Obscur Expedition 33 in my top 10 of all time? I haven't finished it yet. But as far as JRPGs are concerned, it's a top 5 for me that I've ever played. So there's in my JRPGs, we're talking like of the Final Fantasies, 8 is my favorite. So I'll just use one Final Fantasy. So Final Fantasy, there's no order, but Final Fantasy 8, Persona 4 is a JRPG still. So Final Fantasy 8, Persona 4, Lost Odyssey, Legend of Dragoon, and then probably Clair Obscur Expedition 33, my top 5. Now whether that can sneak in, that's tough. But it's because gaming hits different when you're younger, so sometimes it's hard to move stuff off the list. Another fuck, marry, kill. You guys are on it. Blainer, Nintendo edition. Peach, Zelda, Zero Suit Samus.
I mean, I'm fucking Peach.
You know what? Okay.
I mean, wait, I guess I'm marrying Peach. Right?
What are the other two? It's Peach, Zelda, and Zero Suit Samus, which is like her, basically just her bodysuit. Not her traditional one. This is like helmet off.
Yeah, but how are you fucking that?
Well, it's just a woman underneath all that. It's not a suit. It's like literally like a. It's literally like if you look up Zero Suit.
I don't know what it is. Is Zero.
If you look up Zero Suit Samus, it's just. Yeah.
Oh. Okay.
It's Samus. Samus Aran is a badass lady.
All right, I'm marrying Samus.
I'm marrying Samus. I'm.
You know what? I'm killing Peach. I'm
I'm
fucking whoever.
Peach.
Yeah.
Peach is just annoying.
Kind of annoying. She's annoying. Yeah.
She's annoying.
She's just annoying. Yeah. All right.
We agree.
Yeah.
We agree.
Yeah.
Thoughts on this comes in from Ben. Thoughts on the upcoming F1 Brad Pitt movie? Lots of racing related movies in the last 5, like just an inundation of that shit.
You know what though? A lot of them are good.
What started it? Yeah, I think was Ford versus Ferrari.
I don't know. Ford versus Ferrari was pretty freaking good. Yeah, a lot of them. Even Gran Turismo wasn't good.
Dog shit. Yeah.
Yeah, like I enjoyed that movie. Like, I'm gonna go.
Which is this follow up? Have you seen Gran Turismo?
Yes, I thought that game or that movie was way better than it needed to be. Like I was going in there expecting it to be mid as fuck. It was like an 8 out of 10 for me, maybe 8.5.
Damn,
I really enjoyed it.
Damn. Yeah. Okay, I haven't watched it, so maybe I need to at some point.
Oh, it's good, man. It's got a good cast. It's all about racing sims. So like a sim racer it turns into
which
an
is
actual
a thing that happens
racer.
In real life.
Yeah. It's pretty good.
So Brad Pitt F1. Oh yeah, I'm not going to see it in the theater, but I might catch it because I'm a Brad Pitt fan. I'm not going to lie. I mean, I think Brad Pitt's a fantastic fucking actor, so I'm going to probably at least consider checking it out. This comes in from Mark, our editor. Mark, this is the first time I've seen him pop up in here in a hot minute. For reasons that have been explained to me, Participating in a lag TV. Oh, right. He asked me about this before. Participating in a lag TV version of the Hot Ones isn't viable. What would be an ideal food snack take in the place of a hot wing hot sauce or a knockoff of the popular series? He's saying this. So context. When I was streaming, Mark's hanging out, and he was like, "Adam, I got an idea. What's that? What's that, Mark? What's your idea?" So what he's cooking on trying to come up with what's the next goal for the next campaign for lag TV. What are we gonna come up with goal? He was like, "What if you guys did Hot Ones as the thing?"
No.
I said, "But Jeff would literally die. We can't."
I'd actually, my stomach, I just couldn't. If this was like me 5 years ago, I'd be all for it. I'd be like, give me the hottest shit now, bro. I wouldn't even risk it. Like, I'd be out for days. No.
So
Spice,
unfortunate.
no.
So in place of that, like, what is the ideal food snack thing to take place of that? I don't even know. I mean, maybe people in the comments, if you're listening to this on the RSS feed, pop over to the YouTube version of the podcast and give us your thoughts if you've got other things. But we have to be, it's food related. Mr. Black is like,
it would have to be one of those. It would have to be one of those things where you get the jellies, like the things, and either one of them is a disgusting taste, or the other one's the actual, jelly bean. You know what I mean?
That sounds awful, but yeah, it is a limited version of that for sure. I don't know. I mean, it's a good question. We'll see what people have some ideas for. We're getting down to the brass tacks now. Mr. Black Kalutzi asks, what are the 3 noises you like to hear? For example, falling asleep with the sound of rain, hearing the wind blow through the trees at night, birds chirping to start the afternoon. Well, definitely the afternoon, because morning, fuck them.
Yeah, fuck them birds in the morning, bro.
Fuck them morning birds. Man.
I mean,
noises I like to hear. Jeff's struggling not to say my Porsche.
No. Yeah, but I thought we're supposed to pick those 3. Or are we just picking any noises?
No, we're picking what are the 3 noises that you like to hear. Those were examples. So any noise.
Oh, I mean, I like the noises that are made in the bed. Those are beautiful sounds. I like the sound of a Porsche between 8,000 and 9,000 RPMs.
Okay.
It's also fantastic.
Okay. Specific engine, though? Because not all Porsche engines are equal. Okay.
Mine.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Fair.
What other noise?
To use a car analogy or a car choice, even though I don't think I would have named it anyway, but just to be on the car tip, the Lexus LFA has the greatest sounding car engine of all time. I'm going to say that one for cars. I'm then going to say there's a very specific sound that I associate with when I was, we sold the family home, but up the street or up the road from the family home was what's called the old road, which was the old road that came into the town before the highway was installed. And it's just a rock gravel road, but not like clear rock, but like beach rock and stuff. That's been ground down over fucking God knows how long. There's a very distinct sound it makes when you walk on it. And it has always tickled my brain in just the right fucking way. So that's one. I got a couple to come up with. The sound of hitting a golf ball pure is really good.
Nice. That's a nice one. It feels good too.
It feels good and it sounds really good. What's another good one? What's the satisfying? The sound of the shotgun from Doom 2. The reload specifically is a very chunky, fucking interesting sound, but you don't hear that very often. Like everyday sounds, if it's an everyday sound thing, waves, man. Waves on a shoreline is kind of hard to fucking beat. That shit is...
Yeah, you know what? That is...
fire.
I'm going to put that on my list, yeah. Yeah, and it's like light waves, just like that, like the sound of the water coming onto the beach and then kind of coming... It's peak.
That is peak.
It's peak.
Man,
I also like the sound of campfire. like the crackle.
Yes, the crackle. That's a good choice. Yes.
Like a fireplace, like that sound. It's nice.
Yeah.
And believe it or not, when I'm out in the woods
Mhm.
and I'm like camping or something, which is rare, but like just in general, I do like the sounds of crickets and sort of just
Yeah.
the ambiance of outdoors, like nature.
Yes. Yeah.
There is something like I hate cricket sound if it's in the house.
But if you're out there,
yes, but if you're out
contextually,
there
it
and you're in
becomes
the
good.
woods, yes, it's almost because you're not really thinking about it, but it's like it's there.
Yeah.
It feels like like you're not alone, but like I don't know, it's nature just in general, just the what Mother Earth,
Lots
the
of good
noises
stuff.
of it. I think that's like instinctual. I think that's like part of us as humans where we connect with that. But yeah.
It's true, man.
But the fire is up there,
Fires,
like the fire crackling.
Fire
and
and
stuff.
waves on a shore are like are hard to top.
Put
sounds.
both those together on the beach with the fucking shit's going and the wave.
Ah!
Oh yeah, I mean, dude,
It's the dream.
yeah. I mean, sit out there with the lady friend, and then you'll be able to get the sounds of in the bed as well. Like it's all coming together, man. It's all coming together. I got time for one more.
Yeah, it is the last question. It is the last question. Ace High, it said, besides any tragedies in your family, what's one thing you hope to never experience in your life? War.
Yeah. That's a pretty.
I don't know how much better to get if I want to take 10-15% off of that and not go all the way to that. It's sometimes it's hard to forget or not forget, but to appreciate that we have never personally experienced it, not just in terms of combat, but it reaching our shores. You know, it is a blessing that most people were so far removed from it that it's taken advantage of for sure. Beyond that, something I never have to experience. Oh man, besides tragedies in your family. I mean, it's kind of hard. Like if it's within your family, I don't know what he means by, or what they mean by that, because it's kind of hard to like not,
I think the war one's a pretty good one.
I mean, that's peak.
Yeah.
I don't want to experience a house fire, or I'm not too keen on a tornado, personally. It's you're talking about, cataclysmic type events that you really don't want to ever experience in your life. Everything else is just, second to that kind of shit.
Yeah.
Like you got anything better than that?
I don't. They're all pretty fucking horrible. I don't think I want to go. I don't think I want to ever experience any of those things. I think it's a good answer.
I'll make it light on the last one. I don't ever want to experience having to be a Toronto Maple Leafs fan because woof.
Ooh.
Woof. That shit is tough. They are 7 straight, game 7 playoff losses.
Rip.
Fucking yikesies, bro.
Damn.
Rip. And on that note, we'll see you guys next week. Thank you very much for stopping by. Hope you have a good one. Stay safe out there. And until next time, don't be a Leafs fan. Choose literally anyone else. Peace.
Peace.